What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you don't remember, we bought this flooded jet ski from Copart, and turns out there was a hole at the bottom, so we got that completely fiberglass repaired. And in this video we're going to install the engine back in. We have to install the hoses and these wires, but we don't even know if the jet ski runs yet, so we're going to hope for the best. But our end goal of this video is to get the jet ski running and go take it out for a test drive in the lake, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And without further ado, let's get started.
All right, we're just going all over the engine right now, looking for anything that we can install. Remember, I had to tighten up this because I loosened this motor mount to help get it out. And I still have water, a little bit of water. We pumped it out and flushed it a few times, and I thought this might be a drain plug here, but it's just too tight to take out, and I don't really think it's a drain plug. So the hard part is going to be figuring out where everything went. It's just so many hoses and wires. I'll put some clamps on here because that's way easier now.
And I'll start putting back where these hoses went, since it'll be easier to do out here versus inside the jet ski.
Yeah, we'll do this one. That might be pretty much it. And then maybe, I think we have to tighten this back up. And I just don't know which side to put these hoses on yet versus the motor mount. So might have to pull the engine back up a couple times to get everything figured out, but we're gonna get it. So go ahead and do that. We'll keep checking and then get the motor dropped in. All right, Tyler's gonna install that hose. Just push it all the way. You gotta press all the way against there and then put it in a good spot that you can get a screwdriver to it. While he's doing that, still got a ton of stuff to put in. This is the turbo cooler. I'm gonna wait and put the intake on while it's in the jet ski. I think it'll drop down in there a little better. It's just a lot of little stuff. All right, I think we got everything good on the engine. I'm gonna raise it up a little bit more to clear the jet ski, and then I'll let Tyler adjust the jet ski right under the engine. That clear it? Maybe. You know which way the engine needs to go? This way or that way?
This way, because this is the exhaust, so that would have to be pointing towards the back. And this is the propeller shaft, and that went right here.
Yep. All right. That's I think that's gonna clear.
So let's hold this.
I'll put it up here, and then because you gotta adjust the jet ski, roll it back.
All right, we got all three motor mounts bolted down. The only thing that really didn't line up was the exhaust.
Yeah, I think we just need to slide this whole exhaust back because it's about a good 1.5 inch gap. It lined up, it just needs to come that way.
But now we're gonna disconnect this come along and start adding in all the other pieces in. All right guys, we're making great progress. We got a lot of hoses and the wires connected, but we still have a lot more we have to get done. But we got the intercooler.
Yeah, that's the turbo intercooler way back in the corner. We didn't film that because you couldn't see it anyway.
But now we're gonna install the air intake on camera, and then
put the module on it first, because it'd be too hard to try to install the module. And a lot of this stuff, you have wires and hose is down here, so you got to do some stuff before you do one, otherwise you got to take it all back out. We've did that a few times.
And good thing we took pictures of where everything goes, because without that we would be nowhere. That's helping us out a lot.
Yeah, we have to look at pictures all the time. That's the only way we can do this, because it's been what, over a month since we took it apart. So let's get moving and get this air intake on. All right, Tyler's getting the module put on. That way we can, there's no way to install that with the air intake already in here. We're gonna have to make sure all these are out the way, because we got wires that go here, 2 on the module, 1 on the throttle body. And then next step, we're gonna be doing the input shaft, propeller shaft. So I'm gonna wait and put that tube that goes from here to here. Getting it, screw it by hand a few turns first before using a ratchet. All right, now we can put the air intake on. It's so hard working on a jet ski. It's a back killer. Trying to bend over in this little tight space. See, now the module on it makes it too thick. Got it. All right, we got the intake in, all bolted up. We got a few more little coolant lines. And then, I guess next you could put that fuel injection rail in. 2 bolts right here, bolts that down. And then theoretically, we could crank it right now, but I'm not gonna crank it without the input shaft. It's just gonna shoot oil everywhere. So that's basically all that's left. So we get this on, hook up the coil packs and the fuel rail. You getting it? Struggling? It's tough. Probably should have mounted that before we bolted the intake in. Let me put this down and help you. All right, got that hose. It's a little tough. I'll put the fuel rail in. That should be good. Yeah, I see all the gaskets are past there. Just screw those by hand first. This wasn't an extremely hard job. It's just the learning curve. Because we put something in, realize we got to do something before that, take that back out. So that's the hard part of this whole job. So if we ever did it again, it would go a lot quicker. Need to go ahead and get the ratchet before we forget that fuel rail.
All right, so this is the last part to put on the engine, but we can't do that before we put the input and shaft in. And as you can see, the small piece connects right here, and the 2 ends connect to this. But again, we can't do that until the shaft gets put in.
Yeah, the shaft goes through here to the engine. So we got to be able to get to this to put the engine seal in, so we can't put this in just yet.
But then after that, it's just the battery that's left, and we have that on charge.
That's on charge, so let's get to work on the little jet propulsion shaft, whatever it's called. All right, so I got the input shaft installed. I did it off camera because it's so hard to film on this thing because everything is down in a deep, dark hole. You can't really see on camera, so this jet ski doesn't make for the greatest content. So I got the input shaft, and I had to install this because that's what keeps the shaft from sliding back. So now all we have left is the steering stuff to put on. So after we do that, now we can put this piece in here, and there's a couple issues I'm having. I put antifreeze in, and I had antifreeze just pouring out in the bottom of the hole. So I realized I had a hose missing on the bottom, so I finally got that connected, put more antifreeze, and it started dumping out. So I had 2 hoses on the bottom, of course. So I got those. I put the battery in, and I didn't have any power to the instrument cluster. So I think I have a bad ground somewhere. So we're gonna clean up all our grounds and try that. We're gonna go buy a new battery, Tyler's gonna use this, clean up everything. See how dirty that is? So hopefully it's something simple as a ground, and hopefully that's it. So it's spring break, so we've been kind of working on this a couple hours a day. So hopefully we're gonna get this finished up today. If everything works fine, so we'll get it out in the yard, get the water hooked up, get the coolant purged, all the air out of it. We're gonna take the oil cap out because we still have a little bit of water in the oil. So we'll let it run and evaporate some of that water in the oil, and hopefully that's it. This will be done. So let's get started on finishing up the propeller and then go get the battery. All right, we're gonna get this installed. It's kind of tricky because you gotta put half of this on first, then you come and put part of this on because they kind of overlap each other as far as being able to tighten up a bolt. Just don't get them too tight yet, because we may have to take it off a few times to get this figured out. All right, got the steering. I guess that's the steering piece. So go ahead and hook up the bolt to that. We're not gonna bolt up the sides just yet. Yeah, see how it's so hard to film on a jet ski because everything is just such tight little spots and it's dark.
All right, so we just finished all the steering components back here. It was a little bit difficult because of all the bolts and stuff. It was hard to get into. But now we're gonna go to Walmart, pick us up a battery, and go get us something to eat. So let's get that done and get back to work.
Alright, we're back from getting the battery and eating. Couldn't go to our normal battery spot, so we had to go to Walmart. So we got the 20XL or TX20L. It was what, 95 bucks or so. So Tyler's installing this now, and that'll be it for the engine, except for we're gonna clean up all the ground wires and all that. And hopefully we get some good power to here. That's kind of got me nervous. Since all this was underwater, I'm hoping since we had it, water didn't get in here, or I missed a connector on bottom of the engine and we had to pull the engine all back out. I don't know if I have the energy to do that again. Yeah, I definitely hope we don't have a connection, missing a wiring connection or something. That's gonna be a major hassle. All right, take this, clean up all these ground cables, and we're gonna try to fire it up. All right, that's probably good enough. Let's see it. You did all 4 sides. Looks good. A few more wires over here. Got these 3. These 3 that go to the electronics. Got this one. Do both sides, and then you got your positive cable way down there. So do those, and we'll hook the battery up. Might be easier to put it on this metal. That way you have a hard surface. All right, we got all the ground wires back connected. Got that connected on there. Everything's clean. Got the battery. Let's see if it's gonna work. Let's drop the battery in. with the ground. I really don't even know how you crank the jet ski.
I don't know if all you have to do is press that button or you have to do something else.
All right, so the battery's connected. Still no power here. Maybe if we... Oh, we got it. So we got power.
That's good.
And this beeps, so that's good. So it's saying maintenance in 8 hours. Learning key. So that's good news. So next is we're gonna have to see if we can even crank it over. Then, hopefully we don't have a bent rod or bent valve. That's still one of the issues. So let's crank it up, or at least just get it to spin over. All right, so we got power to it. You hit this button once and it brings up power, and then I guess you hit it again or hold it down or something to crank it. But we don't have water hooked up to it. I think we can crank it, probably let it run for 5 seconds. It shouldn't hurt anything, or at least let us know if we have a valve or a rod hitting. So got that tight. I think we're good to try it. It's probably gonna smoke a lot because when I had the spark plugs out, I put a lot of oil in it. That way the pistons wouldn't get rusty, because since it had water. Are you ready?
All right, let's do it.
See how bad it's gonna smoke, if it cranks. Looks good to me. I didn't hear any knocking or anything. Let's look at the oil, see if it's bad. Yeah, see how milky? And we pumped that out and flushed it, what, I think three times? But I think all we're gonna do now is hook up water to it, let it run, take this oil cap off, and that way as the oil heats up, that water will come out. The next time we flush it, it'll be better. That's the only way I know to do it. So I think we got a good jet ski now. Hooked up to it. You don't turn the hose on until it's running, otherwise you'll just fill the engine back up with water and you'll be back to trying to flush that water back out. So I have the antifreeze on this, that way we can get all the trapped air out. So we're going to run it like this for a while, and then we're going to take the oil cap off to let the moisture come out. So let's let it run for a little while, get it running, turn the water on, make sure it's purging through, and hopefully everything's going to work right. Sounds good. Let me get the water turned on. All right, we got the water on. You can see how it's coming out the exhaust. That's what you want. That means it's going through the exhaust system and coming out the jet propeller. Engine sounds great. Gotta let it get up to temperature so it'll start purging the air out. Glad it was just a bad ground. I think we got lucky on this one. It's kind of an aggravation with the hole in the bottom, but learn how to do some fiberglass work. So let's let this run for a bit. We don't have any error messages on here. Engine sounds great.
All right guys, the jet ski is looking very good. We're gonna keep flushing the water out the engine. We're gonna do multiple oil changes, and then we're gonna do a tune-up soon, and hopefully we can take the jet ski down the river soon. So make sure you follow us on Instagram at Swamp Boys Garage, and we'll see you in the next video.